you to Mr. Toby. Okay. I'd like to say thank you to Mr. Toby and Mr. Sam for giving me this privilege to come and speak to you guys. I'm not a speaker. I'm not a moderator. I'm not an official speaker, but yeah, I have a YouTube channel and I talk about my life and lifestyle in the UK, how I juggle everything with motherhood, schooling, life generally as an international student. Yeah. So basically, I'm a student in Swansea University, postgraduate student, a postgraduate student of biomedical science. I came into the UK in January. Yeah, I'm January intake. I came in January. When I first got here, okay, I didn't come straight to Swansea. I was in London for about 2.5 weeks, roughly 3 weeks. So back in Nigeria, this accommodation thing and all, we started searching for accommodation via Zoopla on the market. We just searched everywhere and we couldn't find accommodation and we had already booked our tickets. So we had no choice but to come to the UK without getting an accommodation. So obviously, we had to contact someone we knew here in the UK. My mom helped us contacting a brother. You can see me doing brother, a biological brother. Informed him that, okay, my daughter is coming to the UK with her family. She doesn't have where to stay. She has not gotten an accommodation. Could you please accommodate them? Or could you please be a guarantor for them? Because we're already searching for houses already, but most of them were requesting for guarantor. I don't know if most of you have already started searching for houses already and you've noticed that, but most landlords request for guarantor. And my mom requested of him to be a guarantor and it was obvious he didn't want to. Fine. Most of them, yeah, they don't want to disclose their financial accounts. They don't want to disclose what they're earning and all of that. And being a guarantor, you have to disclose that to the house agents. So he didn't want to do that and we had no choice. My mom had to discuss with a friend again. We just had to just stretch out our ends and ask people here and there. And finally, we got someone that was going to accommodate us in London. So what I'm saying is because you might have some family friends here and you are putting your hopes on them. Family friends would disappoint. Family members would disappoint. Just have that at the back of your mind. They would disappoint. Don't put your hopes so high on them. This is my mom's biological brother that disappointed us. So basically, we just came to the UK. We stayed in London for 2 weeks. We continued hunting for accommodation. We searched and searched and searched, and we finally got one. We got an accommodation. It's a three-bed terrace apartment. And getting that accommodation wasn't an easy thing. We're asked to provide a guarantor, obviously, and we couldn't provide guarantor. So we're asked to pay 6 months upfront. So yeah, rent is paid monthly. We pay our rent monthly, unlike Nigeria that will pay yearly. We pay our rent monthly, and we're asked to pay 6 months rent upfront in order to secure this accommodation. We had no choice. My husband just told me that, oh, okay, as I'm paying this rent money, we are officially going to be broke. And we said, okay, let's go ahead. We finally seen an accommodation. We can't keep staying in London. My classes were about to start and all of that. Before I continue, I came into the UK with my family as dependents. I'm the student, and I came with my husband and my 2 kids, 3 years and a year old. So, as I was saying, we finally got the accommodation and we moved to Swansea. Back in London, my husband had been searching for jobs via Indeed and all of that. And the day we got to Swansea, I think 2 days after, he had interview and he went for the interview, and that's how we got the job within a week of us getting to Swansea, and we started off. I mentioned that you already told me that as we're paying this 6 months rent, we're going to be broke. So we had to hustle and get a job very quickly to be able to sustain ourselves. Aside the 6 months rent we paid, we had to pay a 2 months rent deposit because, like, I think they call it deposit. In Nigeria, we call it breakages and damages fee, something like that. In Nigeria, they call it deposit fee. So normally, Most landlords request for a month deposit, but our landlord requested for 2 months extra because our kids are little, I guess. So we had to pay 6 months rent and 2 months rent deposit. That was basically 8 months rent. So you can imagine how much we had to invest in that. We just went broke and we had to start hustling, working and all of that. So getting here, I couldn't work immediately because of my kids were still little. My daughter was not yet 3 years old and she had to clock 3 before she starts schooling. So I was basically home attending lectures and just trying to juggle all of that together before she started school. And my little one was still very little, was about 7 months old then. And sorry,
Okay, so I think there was a call that just came in that interrupted our connection, but she'll be back shortly. Please, if you have any questions, kindly note it down. It will be very helpful. I know I've seen quite a number of questions on both groups, particularly on Let's Discuss, because you guys are on both groups. I've intentionally left it that way. So if you have any questions, please feel free to chuck it in. If there's anything she says that resonates with you and you want to follow up on this, please do so. So while we wait for her to get her audio back, are you back with us now, Cynthia? Okay.
Thanks.
I think you have to back now, Cynthia.
Yeah, a call came in. I was trying to pause the call and continue with this, but I don't know why.
All right, that's fine. Before you continue, your video is tilted. It slants more or less. So before the call came in, we could see your face properly, but right now we need to bend our necks to be able to see your face. Can you rotate the screen back?
Yeah, let me try and see.
Okay, yeah, this is better.
Is it?
Yes, yeah. It is better now. Okay, so before you go too far, I just want to bring out some things that you have said thus far and then pull out information from there. You know, you said you and your husband were in agreement, you traveled with 2 kids, one was less than a year, the other one was not yet 3 years old, and you needed to sort out accommodation, which you needed a guarantor for, and even your own family members were not willing to do so. So this should not come as a surprise to anybody when you ask people for things and they look a bit reluctant. You don't know what visa they are on or what challenges they are going through. Not everybody is supposed to help you. Let me put it that way. It's not a call and response type of thing. Before I move any further, I want to ask you, what was your experience when you were trying to secure your ticket after you got your visa? Because did you travel in December or you traveled in January?
We traveled in January.
January. Did you get to school in time for enrollment?
Yes, I got to school. We came in 29th of January, and I got in school on time for my enrollment. I think enrollment was 3 weeks out. 3 weeks after then, February. I can't remember, honestly. But I know I got in school on time for my enrollment. We bought our tickets 2 days before we saw our visa. We just had that faith and hope that we are going to get the visa. So we bought our tickets some days before we picked up our visa, and I got to school on time. Our lectures didn't start immediately. We're still doing online lectures for about a month or thereabouts, yes. Then our first lecture was March. Yeah, it was first week of March, and I attended the first lecture. But now I don't think there's no online class for now. You all have to come to school for lectures. It's physical lectures. You have to be on campus for lectures.
Yes, thank you for mentioning that. The virtual option has been eradicated because it's back to normal. Everybody's managing the COVID experience. Okay, thank you for sharing that. The next question I was going to ask you was, how was your enrollment at the university? Was it difficult? Was it tedious? What documents did you have to take with you to enroll? Because I get a lot of students asking that question, and very soon I'll soon be seeing the list flying around on the Telegram group, list of documents to take during enrollment. So can you list out some of how the process was and a few things that was required of you?
Okay, so I think we did our enrollment online, if I can remember. Our enrollment was done online.
Okay.
Yeah. And we basically uploaded our visa that was stamped, our I think the cars we received. I honestly
Okay.
can't remember
Yeah, that's fine.
everything,
Don't
but
let me stress you, but let me make a
I
point of
can't.
that.
I can't.
So if you, I'm sure you can all see her face and you can see she's trying to honestly remember the documents. Once you cross that hurdle, you face the next challenge in front of you, you know, and I think this is just a reference point for me to say, for everybody who is worried and pining over CAS, it will happen. For those of you that are thinking, when will I get to getting the biometrics data? When will I get to apply, get my visa, get my tickets, do my enrollment? Everything is step by step. Okay, so this thing is run in phases. Cynthia, before you arrived at Swansea, had you sorted out, when you landed at Swansea, did you go to the accommodation directly or you stayed at Airbnb? What did you do first?
So I mentioned we're in London for 3 weeks, so we didn't move to be secured that accommodation. So immediately we came to Swansea. The first time, our first day before journey to Swansea was to pick up the keys and check out the house physically before making payments, because we had done a virtual view of the house online, but wanted to see the house and meet the agent so we don't get scammed before making payments. So that was our very first visit to Swansea, and we got the keys, we made payments, and we went back to London. Then we came back after a few days with our loads and everything and moved straight away. We didn't stay in Airbnb.
Okay, fantastic. So you had the privilege of staying with a relative in London.
Yes, in
before you
London,
moved down. The accommodation you got, was it furnished? I know we had a brief conversation about that yesterday. I need you to expatiate this bit because quite a number of people have not seen that conversation go around. So I think that's one of the golden nuggets that they will benefit from you today. So can you walk them through that accommodation? Where were you checking? How did you get it? And all of that.
Okay, so we're searching on Zoopla. Most of you already know Zoopla, on the market, Rightmove. We're basically sleeping on this website. We're always awake, first to view a new house, send our application. So you just go on Zoopla, you just put in the different filters you want to put in. If you want 2 bed, 3 bed, a bed, you put them and you just click on each houses. You send your application, either you call the agents or you email the agents and fill in your details and you proceed. So what we're doing, because we're already back in Nigeria when we were searching for these houses, we couldn't call, because even when we called, I think we tried calling on a few occasions, but then when they pick up and they cut the call after a few minutes. But coming to the UK, we had gotten a UK SIM, so it was easier calling the numbers we saw on Zoopla, and we're using Zoopla most of the time. So we're just calling the agents, and when we call, we'll express our interest in the particular accommodation, and they said, okay, we'll send you an email, just continue, proceed, fill in your details and all of that. So this particular accommodation we got was on Zoopla. They had posted it, we sent in our application, we called and showed our interest. And like I said, they asked us to provide a guarantor, and when able to provide guarantor, they asked us to pay our rents upfront. So we were looking for a house initially we were looking for a house very close to the school, because I'm in Singleton campus. We're looking for a house very close to the school and all, but when it was proving our butts, we had to go extend our search. And my house presently is about 3.5 miles from school. That's 15 minutes drive to the school, like if you're driving. But if you're taking the public bus, it's about 40 minutes to school. So these days, people have been complaining. I have a lot of people, a lot of my subscribers complaining they've not gotten accommodation, they're searching, they're spending so much money on Airbnb. And when I ask them, okay, what have you been searching? How have you been searching? I realized that most of them are actually looking for houses very close to the school. They want to stay at the city center. Some of them want to stay very close to the school. I understand the fact that you want to stay very close to the school due to proximity and all of that. But currently, accommodation here is becoming really tough. I feel like you shouldn't just be bent on, I want to stay close to the school. You could just extend your wings and, I could stay about 4 miles away from the school. I could stay about 3 miles away from the school. And you know that you just take a bus and get to school. You buy a bus ticket here. The bus ticket takes you around everywhere in Swansea in a whole day. Like you just buy a ticket and you can enter as many buses as you want to that day. So there's nothing wrong in staying in a particular place and you have to travel an hour to get to school. I feel there's no issue with that because in Lagos, I stayed in Lagos, we can spend 3 hours on the road just to get to work. So why should you have a problem being on the bus for just an hour? I don't know if you get what I'm saying. And then the road is smooth and all of that. But no, they want to stay close to school. They want to stay close to the center. They want to do something. And then you realize that those houses that they are hunting for in the center are more expensive than the other houses away from the city center. And then you just see that getting to the just about 5 minutes drive to the center, or it's just about 10 minutes drive to the center. So why are you stressing yourself wanting to stay there, wanting to stay where it's happening? I can say, okay, where it's happening? Because these other areas outside the center, they're not as lively as the center. It's calm, it's more of a residential area and all of that. So our advice, if you're searching for houses, don't focus on, I want to stay in SA2. I want to stay close to the center. I want to stay close to big campus. I want to stay very close to Singleton. Because we are limited at the moment. If it was before, okay, we have lots of houses, lots of accommodations here and there. But now, there's housing crisis everywhere. You have to just do with what you have. I don't know if I'm making sense or I'm talking too much. So that's it basically. This my place. We got it for £725. I'm very sure at the moment we can't see that for £725 because they've increased cost of living here. They've increased everything, housing, accommodation, everything has increased. So we got it for £725 then, and it came unfurnished. So yeah, you have a choice of getting a furnished apartment or getting an unfurnished apartment. Some people prefer the furnished apartment, while some of us might prefer unfurnished apartments. When we came to this house, it was empty, basically empty. We just had wardrobes, yeah. So we had to buy our stuff ourselves. I know some people might be like, why won't I get furnished? Unfurnished would be difficult to furnish. Where will I get money to buy furniture and all of that? But there's something called Facebook Market that we all go to. It's like our, I don't want to call it, but Facebook Market has saved lives. You go there, you see free stores, people here willing to give out their things for free or at a very little amount. And then you just, before you need to furnish the apartments. Me, I would prefer it, especially for those that have kids. I prefer an unfurnished apartment because of these breakages and damages issue. If you get a furnished apartment, bed, couch, TV, everything in it, one day, you just probably see that your child has thrown, because you can't actually stop these kids from playing about or making a mess. A child has thrown something at the TV or has damaged one leg of the chair or has done something. And then when you are leaving, you have to pay for that thing so that your deposit is not being returned to you because you've spoiled a lot of things in the house. So if you're coming with kids, I actually sincerely advise you get an unfurnished apartment and you furnish it yourselves gradually through Facebook Market. You get bed, you can see free mattress there, you can see free couches, you can see a lot of free stuff, and they are very good, except some people are ashamed to get these stuffs. Then I don't know, but I myself, I got a lot of things from Facebook Market. I got their address, I went to pick them up, but some will actually want you to pay for them. And you have to be very careful not to pay them before getting these stuffs, because some of them can be scams. There are scams everywhere. So don't pay anything online. Don't do anything until you've gotten what you want to get before you make payments. So I think that's all I'll say about furnished and unfurnished apartment generally, accommodation. Yeah, basically. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, thank you very much for that, Cynthia. How many bedroom is it? You didn't mention that.
It's a 3-bed. I mentioned it's a 3-bed. It's a 3-bed. So we weren't planning on getting a 3-bed. Wanted a 2-bed because it's just my husband and I and my 2 kids. But they have this gender issue here. So I have a boy and a girl. When we're applying when we're searching for houses and getting some feedbacks, most of we're searching for 2 beds initially. And most of the agents getting back to us were saying, oh, we can't give you a 2-bed because you have 2 kids of opposite sex, a boy and a girl. So we got to understand the fact that, oh, I have a husband and a wife. A husband and a wife should be in a room. And since I have 2 kids of opposite gender, they should be in their individual rooms. That is a room and a room, making 3 rooms. Do you get? So we couldn't get 2 beds. My friends, my family members were saying, won't you just tell them that they are both girls or they are both boys, just to avoid getting a 3-bed. But we didn't want to go through all of that. So we just told them the truth, and they kept advising us, you have to get a 3-bed. You can't get a 2-bed here. Your kids have to stay in different rooms. So that's how we had to get a 3-bed. Some landlords or agents might not mind, especially if the kids are little, they might not mind, but some of them will. So that's how we got a 3-bed, and trust me, the 3rd room is useless. But that's it, Sha.
All right, thank you very much for that. Let me start with the last line. The 3rd room is not useless. Be careful before you start getting applications from people on this group that they would like to see in the room. I know you mentioned to me what the room goes for different, and what you guys have been able to use the room to do at different times, but I think I'll leave that off the call. But one of the things that you said I would like to buttress on is the fact that you need to respect the wishes of the landlord, and then take into consideration the number of kids and the age, and the sex of the children if you are traveling with family. You can't put them in the same room, just as you've heard her say, like we can do in Nigeria. There are rules and regulations to follow. Now, my Nigerian brain is kicking in saying, would they be there in the room with you? They can ask for a spot check at any point in time. Yes, Cynthia, go ahead.
Yes, a health visitor will always come and check your kids in the house. I think after they have a period of time, my health visitor has come to this house 3 times. And the first time she came to my house, she complained of my house being too hot, that she opened the windows. I have a friend that the health visitor came to the house to check the kids, and she complained that she's seen so many people in this house. She stayed in a 2-bed. She stays in a 2-bed, but she had her cousins, her family, her friends staying in the house with them. And I think the health visitor noticed people pacing up and down, pacing here and there. And she complained that she first asked, how many people are living in this house? And she said, I have this person, I have this person. She said, it is not allowed. This is a 2-bed. It's not conducive for the child. You can't have a child staying, that kind of thing. So the health visitor definitely would have documented it. I don't know what she did afterwards, but they always come to check. The health visitors always check and ask. My health visitor also asked me, where is Samuel, my little boy? Where does he sleep? I said, he sleeps with me. And she said, no, he can't sleep with me. He has to sleep in his cot. He has to have his own bed. He has to sleep in his... So all those small things, they always look out. You can't stay in a jam-packed house. So all of us will stay in one bed. All of us, they always check. And sometimes, once in a while, your landlord can pop in. But my landlord has never come to my place so far. He has never come to check. I don't know why, but we paid our rent. But he has not come to check. But the health visitor comes to check the kids and look around the environment.
Thank you very much for mentioning that. Please note that what she just said, you're not going to find it on any contracts. It's part of the rules and regulations. And I'm saying this because I know a few of you are coming with dependents and they are very particular about the kids. Please, please, and please. Okay, so thank you very much for that. Speaking about kids, how were you able to enroll your children into school? I know you said the first one was about 7 months when you traveled, but he's in school now. So how were you able to get a school for your children? Was that done before you traveled or when you arrived? Can you let them know?
Okay, so when you arrive, obviously you have to secure an accommodation before you start searching for schools and all of that. So we got the place. Then I went on YouTube and I went to search how can I get a place for my child's school. And I found out that if you just go on Google and search schools near me. So this is what I did. I went on Google and I searched schools near me and I allowed my location to turn on. And it popped out about 4 schools very close to my house. And I clicked on one of them, the very first one. I clicked on it. I saw the email address of the school. I saw the contact number of the school and I sent an email. I made a call. They responded to my email asking me to come to the school for an open day and fill in my registration form for the kids. For my daughter, my daughter was 3 years old as at then, and proceed. But I later got to know that you don't have to even go to schools near me. You can just go on swansea.gov.uk, that's Swansea Council website. Go on there and go to school places. You have to go to school places and you just search for you apply, fill in your children's name, your child's name, their date of birth, you fill in all their details and you send an application there and they'll get back to you on the schools close to your house. Or if you have a particular school of interest, you fill it in there and we'll get back to you. So that's the official way to do it. But me, I just went and searched school's name and it's popped up. So currently they've already even sent me an email requesting me to apply for September next session, which is start September 2023. And we are just in November 2022. They already sent me an email requesting me to apply for the next session for my child because of the limited number of spaces. So we have to start applying down. It's as against September 2023. So, and the process of the way to do that is also to go to the swansea.gov.uk to apply. You see school places, you fill in your child's details, you probably pick the school of interests, and you just apply. That's it basically. But if you want fast track, the way I did it, I went straight to look for the school on Google, school's name, I went to the school, copied their email address, sent them email, called, and they told me to come to the school after a few days. And I went to the school, filled in my registration form, and she started schooling, I think 2 weeks after. My little boy is a year and 3 months now. So he's not schooling. He just goes to play group. They don't school here until they're 3 years old. So he just goes to the play group Mondays and Fridays for 2 hours. Yeah, a mom or a dad has to be with the child at the play group, playing with other kids and their parents. So that's what you can't start school until it's 3 years. So your child can't start school until they're 3 years of age. Yeah, so that's it.
All right. Thank you very much for that, Cynthia. I know this question has come around and some people have an idea, but I'm asking her these questions intentionally so that we can get the information. One other thing I want to ask of us, please, as she's talking and we're putting those links on the chat, you can just click on them. She's here to give you like a brief summary. You still need to do your research. Yeah. All right. So I'm just mentioning this because I can see a question. I feel that we should be able to do some research. The age of your child might be different. Somebody's asking for the cost of the play group.
Yeah. So cost of play group, I think it depends on the area you're staying. So every vicinity, every area always has a play group. I think we have about 2 play groups close to my house. So it goes to the closest one. And for our play group, we pay £2 every day you go there. So it might be different in a different play group. So I think it just differs. Some days they'll just put on the group, oh, it's free today. Come and have fun with your kids. Come and play with your kids. On some days you might pay more than that. When they had this Christmas photo, they had the Christmas photo stuff, they had to pay £1, £50, 50 pence extra. So it differs, but mostly £2. It's not so much for 2 hours, just for them to interact with other kids, not just be at home, try to learn how to talk if they're not working yet, because it's for kids from infants up to 2 years plus. Yeah, that's just what it's for.
All right, thank you very much. So moving on to my next question now, you mentioned £2 and that made my mind think about money. Let's talk about the bills. How have you been able to, to juggle everything? More so, you picked an apartment that was not furnished. You've told us where you got some of your furnitures. How are you running the bills? Is your landlord taking care of anything? Or what are the outstanding bills that you guys are dealing with? Now, every family will come up with a system that they're going to work around this, but it will be good to have an idea of the kind of bills that you are expected to play. This is not Nigeria that you will tap lights from another compound and you say, I beg, or generator. More so you guys are going you'll be arriving in January, which is relatively cold. She'll talk about the weather as we move down the line, but I want her to emphasize on bills. Please note your tuition fee, all the fees you have been doing, TB test, IHS, visa fee, it's like a snowball effect. I need you to keep your mind, try and project what is to come and prepare your mind so that you don't find yourself, saying, oh, I didn't know about this. I wish I knew. So Cynthia, what other bills should they look out for, both as individuals and as a family?
Okay. So I want to say something before I proceed. I have a friend that knows someone that came into this country a month ago, and she came to the country with 80K, 80,000 naira. That's all she had. At the moment, she's stranded. She doesn't have a place to stay. I think she hasn't even paid her 50% school fees. And Home Office school has sent her a withdrawal letter. Home Office is saying she has to go back. So aside the fact that coming here, you have to start looking for jobs. You have to start working. You have to just start working anyhow. You also have to come with enough money to sustain yourself, to sustain you, to sustain your kids, to sustain your family for a period of time, pending when you get a job. So at the moment, aside our rent, which is 725, like I mentioned, we paid 6 months upfront, but now we're paying monthly, which is 725. We have our electricity bill. So my house didn't come as bills inclusive. You see some apartments, they'll tell you bills inclusive, some bills not inclusive. Most of the family accommodation, they are not bills inclusive. It's mostly the students' ones or the shared accommodations that are usually bills inclusive. For those that are not bills inclusive, you have to pay for electricity bill, you have to pay for water bill. Electricity and gas is usually together most of the time. So our electricity bill is 160 pounds monthly. We are on a fixed tariff. We did a fixed tariff and we are being debited directly from our accounts every month. And we are free to use as much electricity as we want to. We can turn on our heater, we could turn on anything as we want to, but still that 160 pounds that will be deducted from our accounts. Even during summer when we didn't even use heater, we didn't turn on anything, we didn't really use anything, they still debited their 160 pounds. Do you get? So that's the tariff round. But they are different. There's some pay as you go. Some of my friends use the prepaid. You are seeing your money redeem. You see that my money has entered 2 pounds, 3 pounds, 4 pounds. Before you need to, you have to go and turn off your heater. So there are different ways. I think I prefer that pay as you go, the one you can see how much is reading. I actually prefer that, but I don't have that here. So you have to you pay electricity bill and gas come together. Then water bill. Water bill is not so much here. Most times, I think it's just twice in a year you pay. Some pay quarterly, 3 times, 4 times in a year. It's not monthly as electricity and gas. So since we've been here for about 9 months. We've been in this place for about 9-10 months now, and water bill has only come just once. And when it came, it was 50-something pounds. Yeah, and it hasn't come again. I probably come very soon, and to be about that same amount. Water bill is not so much, but when you come in, you have to call the water company and also let them know that you have kids. If you're coming with kids, there's a priority for those that have kids or are coming with people that are really old. So they give priority for those of them. But I think they feel children will surely waste water or something. So aside electricity, water bill, your transportation, your tickets, cost of tickets is not so much. In a day, you buy a day ticket, which is £4.20, and that ticket you can use it the whole day. Any bus you want to enter, you can decide to go around Swansea, go to school, go to the market, go to work that same day. Just that same ticket you use everywhere within 24 hours. But if you want to go to school, there's some buses that go to the school, and you have to buy those tickets on our First Bus app, and you get your student discount. It's usually £2.35. It's cheaper than the normal regular £4.20. So you have privilege of buying at a cheaper rate as a student. So aside that, which other bill? Council tax. So as a student, you're not supposed to pay council tax. A lot of my friends did not know. I don't know how they did not know, but they didn't know, and they were bringing council tax bill to their houses. But immediately you get here and we receive it at first, and then I emailed council tax and said, I'm a student. I heard on YouTube that I'm not supposed to be paying council tax. Please, what. And they requested for my enrollment certificate. When you get to the school year, you just go to the uni hub and request for the certificate. It's just like a paper. It's a paper, a document telling them, oh, you're a student of this. And then I sent the documents to the council email, And they also requested for my husband's passport stating no resource to public funds. It's generally going to stamp on our passport. So they wanted to see that of my dependent saying he has no access to public funds. And I sent those documents to them and they stopped sending council tax bill and they sent me an email that I'm not paying council tax, I'm not paying and all of that. So no council tax, no paying of council tax, just electricity bill, water bill, then phone bill, phone data has to run. The mistake we made coming here, we're too fast in doing contracts. I don't think anyone should be so fast in something wrong with audio. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay.
Yeah, I
don't think anyone should rush and do a contract coming here because that was a mistake I made and my husband made. He did a contract for his line. I also did a contract for my line. So I'm stuck to using the particular network I use. And if I want to opt out, I have to pay a certain amount of money. So here we have Wi-Fi almost everywhere. You go to school, there's free Wi-Fi, you connect to your phone, your laptop. Mostly when you're at work, wherever you're working, most times they always have free Wi-Fi. So the best thing to always do is just to do like a small data plan on your phone. So that way, if you're not at work, you're not in school, you can have something running on your phone. Then you do a Wi-Fi at home. That is way better, trust me. You just do a Wi-Fi at home. So when you're at home, you can connect it. If you're using a TV, a smart TV, you can connect it to the TV. You can connect it to your phone, to your laptop. Everyone in the house is using it. It's cheaper. It is way, way, way cheaper. But we made that mistake and we had to go and do contract on individual phones, which is expensive. And now the Jebu in us is not allowing us to do Wi-Fi in this house. So we just connect our hotspots to the TV for the kids to watch Netflix. So our phone bill, like mine is £19 monthly. I use 3. My husband is about 20-something pounds monthly. Initially, I got a discount as a student. That's another thing. You have to ask. You have to ask people because students have so many discounts in this country. You have to ask, is there a discount? I'm a student, do I have a discount? They will not tell you. They would not tell you. You have to ask. So they gave me a discount for the first 6 months. I paid half, that's 50%, which was 8.99, about £9 sharp for the first 6 months. And after then, I started to pay £18. So those are just the bills: electricity, phone bill, water, your tickets, transportation. What else? That's all. And if you are privileged to start running, if you are privileged to have money to get a car once you get here, that one comes with its own palaver. That's a different thing entirely. So yeah, that's all about bills.
All right. Can you quickly touch on TV license?
Okay. So we are not doing TV license. We're not paying for TV license because we're not watching their stations. You only pay for TV license when you are connected to when you're watching their stations, their channels. Our TV is just connected to internet. We just put on Netflix, YouTube for the kids to watch because we're hardly at home. Even if you're at home, you're always busy with work or something. So when the kids are always the ones watching the TV. So we just connected hotspots and they used to watch cartoons on Netflix, on YouTube. We're not paying for TV license. But if you want to watch their stations or news, you can pay for TV license. They will bring it to you. Once they've even noticed that you have what's it called? Is it antenna? I don't know what they call it. Once they notice it, or they will know. They will bring it out to your house. Boom, TV license fee. They will bring it. So, but if you don't want to spend money on that, you can always watch news on YouTube. You can stream live news. Just save. You have to save money. We didn't bother with that. So okay. We're not paying TV license.
Fantastic. I'm asking her to bear out most of this information because there are some things that are not said. Take, for example, the contracts. It's easy to go into a contract and not realize that you've gone into a contract. Most of us don't read the fine print. We just click accept all, approve all, and we want to move on to the next page. It's very important. If you walk into any store and they're trying to give you a credit card, please be mindful. Don't
Yeah.
start getting credit unless you understand how it works. This is extremely important. Nobody will tell you. And trust me, that system runs in such a way that everything works, but it is being paid for by a certain category of people that have subscribed to it. Don't just subscribe. Try as much as possible. If you don't understand it, tell them, don't worry, I'll have a think about it and then I'll come back later. There's no shame in that. Somebody is asking a question here around the council tax. So the person is saying, who leased the house, yourself or your hubby?
Okay, so the house is in my name. I will always advise, if you're coming with a dependent, the student should be the main applicant for almost everything you are doing here. It's always, yeah, it's better. So the house is in my name and my husband as a co-tenant.
All right. Again, I'm glad to tell you that what she just told you right now, you're not going to find written down anywhere. This is first-hand experience she's giving you. Another question here. How easy is it working while having a 1-year-old you can't enroll in school? Yeah, and it's a boy.
And it's a boy. Trust me, it's not easy. You coming, where do I even start from? A husband and a wife, both of you guys have to be in a, I don't know whether I'll call it an agreement. You guys have to put your heads together, sit down, strategize, plan. If not, both of you end up quarreling, having issues, fighting. Oh, I have to go to work. Who's going to be the kids? Oh, this one. Those times might come. One few times, my husband and I, we've had arguments about, oh, I picked shift. Didn't you know? Why did you pick shift? Who's going to stay with the kids? Do you get? But if you guys are planning together, you're sitting down and, okay, you work today, I don't work today. So basically, as a student, you're only allowed to work 20 hours a week. I work just twice in a week at most. Sometimes I work just once in a week. My husband strictly does night shifts. He works at night. So he's always home during the day. You see where I'm coming from? So, and I have lectures during the day. I have lectures sometimes twice or thrice in a week. I go to school during the day. My husband stay at home with the kids. Do you get? And when I want to work, I work during the day. I don't work at night. I don't do night shifts. I work during the day. I go to work. Maybe I work mostly Saturdays and one day in a week. So I go to work and my husband stays with the kids. He doesn't work every day, obviously. We try to spend time with each other. He works 5 times in a day, in a week. I work twice in a week. So the days I work, he stays at home. So at least when I come home at night, he's at home at night with us. So that's how we just manage it. He's at home during the day, goes to work at night. The only thing is that I get to sleep alone. That's the only sad thing. So he works at night. I stay with the kids. He stays with the kids during the day. I go to school if I need to go to school. I go to work if I need to go to work during the day. And he stays. Yeah, that's so you just have to juggle. You guys have to sit down and just plan how you want to do it. Who will say, because when we first came here, we didn't know all of this when we first came here. One of us, my husband got a job that I was going to work 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. 9 a.m. in the morning to 5 p.m. Was doing a customer service job then. And I had lectures. We just came now. How will I not go for lectures? What's who's going to stay with the kids when you have to go to work, have to go to lectures? We're spending so much money that we shouldn't have spent. We're getting Nigerians, so our fellow Nigerians, who are coming to look after our kids for us okay, we're paying this amount of money. Oh, okay, just help me stay with my kids for 4 hours. I'll pay this amount. Some will give you the amount they want to collect. You have to pay £50 for this. I'll stay with your kids for 10 hours. You have to pay £50, that kind of thing. So we're wasting money doing that, not doing that. We could just re-strategize and plan ourselves well without spending the little money we are making. So
all right,
that's how we do it.
Thank you very much for that, Cynthia. Let me make emphasis to some of the things you just said now. Synergy is very important. The last time I had a conversation with Cynthia on Telegram, I kid you not, she was telling me about the challenges of getting an accommodation. And I only messaged her on that same Telegram platform yesterday. because I could see the trail of our messages. So this is very important, you know, the synergy between you and your partner and your kids as well. Remember, everybody, no pressure, but the dependents are there based on the main applicant's visa. If anything goes wrong, that can crumble everything down. So it's very important that that balance, you guys are able to come up with how best to sort that out. Please, it's very, very, very important. Again, I'm making reference that some of the things she's telling you here, they're not going to find it written down. I mean, what she mentioned about fellow parents or fellow Nigerians assisting each other as regarding this. For some of you already in the moms.
It was not for free.
Yes, it's never for free. And
Most
that's one
of
of the
them
things I
not
want you
this
to understand, that everything comes at a cost. Do not feel bad when somebody who you felt will do this for you wholeheartedly is telling you no.
To ask for money.
Please.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things around this. I'm making this emphasis again so that you're not surprised to say, oh, why is all of this happening? Maybe we shouldn't have moved. Please, that's why you will notice in some of the communications, and we'll discuss it during the pre-departure briefing. If you are only going to be traveling first as the main applicant to sort yourself out before the family comes, that most likely would help you. I know you guys will probably want to move together, do everything together, but look at the stress if you are coming with children. Even you, if you're traveling alone, your boxes at times, if you're taking a train to transit
from... just pay for it, like, you still collect money to pay for it.
If you're transferring from Heathrow to Paddington, you know, that commute can be a bit stressful. Quick side joke, Sam is on this call. We were in Swansea in July, and I don't want to tell you what happened to Sam's bag while we were walking briskly to catch up with our train. I mean, it was funny. We have done this routine severally. Sam has been in Swansea for close to 6-7 years, and this is still happening.
Close to 10 years.
10 years. Look at that. Once you get plugged into that system, it becomes a part of you. Trust me. So let's be sure to note this down. Friendly advice for all the ladies on the group: be nice to your partners. For all the men on this group that are coming with their partners, the same thing. Be nice to them, because you are going to need each other while you are doing this your program. Okay, so moving on to the next thing real quick before I allow all the questions flow in. I want to talk about 3 things quickly. The first one is around the payments, the tuition payments and the timelines. How were you able to meet up with your 50% and the remaining timelines for payments? University has a strict timeline, which we've indicated on our website. How were you, since you're a January student, how were you able to meet up with this? That's number 1. Number 2, please talk about food, medication, and bank. So those 4 things: payment plan, food, medication, and bank.
Okay. Okay, so for the payments plan, the 50%, we paid it before we left Nigeria. I always advise try and pay that 50% before leaving Nigeria, because it's not so easy here. You think you can just come here and start making pounds and I'll use to pay today a few weeks now. Trust me, it's not as easy as you think. So if you can pay 50% before you leave Nigeria, please try. So we did that, and the 25 was, I think, May. And then can you hear me?
Yes, we can. We can.
Okay. And then the 25%, I think it was paid latest May, and then the remaining 25 latest was September. Yeah, so the first 25 we paid using Form A, as that then Form A was not so tough, but it was already getting tough. We had to contact someone in UBA Bank. We had to pay extra to be able to meet up with the deadline for the Form A. So that was how we paid our first 25%. And it was the money we're already making here that we converted, that we put into our Lemonade and into our Naira accounts to be able to pay for me, because converting it makes the money bigger. It makes the money more. Do you get? I'm paying directly. So we converted to Naira and put into paid through Form Asia. And then the last one, the third payment plan, 25% September, we pay directly from our pounds accounts because we're not ready for the Form A wahala. And since we're already working and making money here, so it's not so difficult paying the last payment. Some people had issues with Form A, and you can always email the school. I feel they're actually very lenient in Swansea University, trust me. I have a lot of friends that couldn't meet the deadline and they kept postponing, okay, we give it to this day to pay. Okay, they kept postponing till they eventually paid. So I'm not saying you should do that, just try and meet up with the deadline. But if you're not able to, you can always just make sure you involve the school. Let the school know that, oh, I've done this, I'm still waiting to be there. But they don't just sit down and relax. You have to always keep the school abreast of what's happening. So that's how we paid our school fees complete. Anyways, then food. We packed a lot of Nigerian foods coming here. So for the first 6 months, I didn't buy any Nigerian food. I paid for extra luggage because of food coming into the UK. My husband loves swallow, so we had to pack plenty poundo yam, plenty food for the kids. And so, but after then, we had to start buying Nigerian food. We have some Nigerian stores here. Now it's getting more expensive. That's why I stopped buying from their stores and I now buy online. I buy from Obonge. I'll probably drop the link later on. I buy my Nigerian food stores from Obonge. It is way, way cheaper. I think I have a video on that on my YouTube channel. You can check it out. I buy my Nigerian food from them. It's way, way cheaper. Even when they add their shipping fee, they come from London. They ship it from London. Even when they add their shipping fee, it's still it's still cheaper, way cheaper. Then aside that, we had to just start getting used to their own food here because their food is way cheaper. You can't decide that, oh, I want to stick to, I'm an African man, I can't be eating their food. Just once in a while, we'll just buy Nigerian food because we just want to have the Nigerian food. But most of the time, we eat their food. We are used to their delicacies. You have to try new things. That's why you are in a different country. You have to just try new food, new stuffs. You might not like this one, you try another one. So food is cheap here. Oh, it used to be very cheap before, but cost of living but it used to be very, very cheap. It's not so bad still. You eat chicken, you get tired of eating chicken. Chicken is very cheap here. So, but fish is expensive. I don't know why. So you have to get down from African stores. Food that's just about food. Then if you're with kids, little ones, their cereal is like my kids, my son's cereal. I don't have access to it. Like I always have to go to a particular store to get it. I can't sit in every other stores around. They don't have it. I don't know what to use. Like our other foods, we can't easily get his food, so we have to go to a particular store to look for it, and sometimes we run out of it. So we always have to buy enough. So before that one finishes, we've gotten another one just in case they don't have. So that's it. For food is cheap. Food is not an issue here. If you are ready and willing to adapt and start eating their food. Their food is not even bad. Chips, rice, spaghetti, normal pizza. Eat all of that. And once in a while, you can eat your swallow, eat your soup, buy from African stores if you want to have that taste. Yeah. Then medication. When you come here, you have to register in a GP. You have to register with a GP. GP is general practitioner, just like registering in a hospital, in a clinic. You have to register with a GP once you get here. The closest GP to your house, same way you did for school. You can just go on Google GP near me, and they'll bring out a GP close to you. The one very close to my house is about 1 mile or less than a mile from my house. So you go there, you register yourself, your family, your kids. If your kids are taking immunization, you have to come with their immunization cards. Don't forget it, please. You have to come with their immunization cards, and they will look at where they've stopped and where they have to continue. The ones that they don't give in our country that they have to give them. You just register the kids and they'll follow up. They'll always drop letters in your house as to when you're coming for the next immunization. So if you're feeling ill, you can always go to the GP, give a call. And it's not easy having a meeting up with the doctor for adults, but for kids, they'll always respond very quickly. So, but you can come with your basic drugs like cough syrup, vitamin C, paracetamol, which I feel you can easily get here. Their paracetamol is even better than ours. You can get down, you don't have to go to the GP to get that. You can just get from a big store close to your house, Tesco, they sell it there behind counter. You don't have to go to the doctor. You can buy paracetamol, cough syrup, vitamin C from normal stores. They are very good. But if you are really ill and you want to see a doctor, you have to go to the hospital to see a doctor. If you want to do, that's it. Then what was last thing? What was last?
The last one is on bank.
Bank.
Was easy opening a bank account for you and your dependent?
Opening a bank account is very easy. I saw someone asking a question on the on chat section asking how did my husband open a bank account since the house is in my name. The house being in my name there's no issue at all. Trust me. His name is still in the document. My friend, when she came here, she didn't have a place to stay. She stayed at my place for about 2 weeks. And when she wanted to open a bank account, she used my address to open the bank account. So the name does not have to be in your name. His name, Abi, her name did not have to be in our contract or anything to open a bank account. After she got her own place, she changed the address in her bank account to a new home address. So you just we have Revolut ones. So those are the ones that are very fast to open. They are mobile banks. You just quickly open them. A lot of people share their referral codes, and you can make money from there. I'll send my referral code. You make £30, I make £30. £30 already yours. So you can open those mobile banks when you come. They'll ask for your BRP. When you come here, you would have gotten your BRP from the school or the nearest post office to you. So they'll ask you to snap your BRP front and back or your passports, your international passport. They'll ask for your basic info, your name, your address, date of birth, and all of that. And after maybe 4 or 5 working days, they will just drop the card in your house. And that's it. You already have a bank account. But if you want to open the banks, the fiscal banks, like Barclays, Lloyds, sometimes you might have to go to the banks. But sometimes you don't have to, like me, I opened Barclays, which is a fiscal bank, and I didn't even smell the bank at all. I did everything online. I downloaded the app and I just followed the instructions, and it got to a point where they asked me, are you currently at your address? I said yes, and they'll turn on the location and realized, and I don't know how to do it, and it ticked, and everything went through, and after some working days, just my card at my place. So it's been made easy, trust me, it's not so hard. But sometimes if you don't do the fiscal bank, if you don't follow the instructions properly, you might end up going to their office to finish up. Do you get? But for the other mobile banks, it's very easy. Just provide your BRP, passports, and all of that. So if you have dollars coming into the country, you don't have pounds, or you have pounds with you. If you have pounds with you, cash, and you want to put it in your account, that they don't. I think you can't go into the bank to pay £500. I think it has to be minimum of £1,000. But you can go to a post office to pay in that amount of money into your bank account. So if you've opened a bank account and you don't have any money with you, but you have your cash, you can take the cash to a post office and they'll put it into your bank account for you. So you have money in your bank account instead of going about with cash.
Is there any charge for that service?
For the post office, yes, there is. I don't think it's so much. I've not been there before. My husband, I probably have to ask him. I don't know, but I don't think it's much.
All right, that's fine, because we do get some students in that kind of scenario. I've had different questions around carrying dollars to the UK, because presently it's difficult to get the pound in Nigeria. So we've gotten a couple of those questions. Okay, so I'm going to pick some of the questions here now on the chat, and we can walk through this together. So if you have any questions, please drop them on the chat so that we can, pick them, and anything that we might be able to learn from The last thing she will talk about after I pick this set of questions is the weather. We were laughing about this yesterday, and I like my students to be aware of what they are going to experience. You know, I've seen all manner of things happen. Take, for example, for food, I've been laughing my head off. I've seen people asking, even on your Let's Discuss Your Offer group, can they wrap the palm oil? How can you? I don't know why palm oil and dry fish is of essence here, but
it is of essence.
You are the one that knows what is very important to you. For me, several years ago, it was crayfish, grounded crayfish, and I found a way to carry my item. But quickly running through some of the questions here. Somebody's asking a question. You've answered the one about the house, the bank. Okay, let me see. So somebody is following up on the question about you studying with your son. Then, what time do you have to study? When he was consistently at home, did you have any time to study at all? How did you juggle being a parent and being a student at the same time?
Okay. So, like I said, I only have lectures 2 or 3 times in a week. And my lectures will probably be for about 3 hours, 4 hours. I don't come home immediately. Like today, I went to school today. My lecture was 10 to 12. I stayed back in school. I used the library because I had assignments to submit. So after my lectures, I don't come home because I know when I'm coming home, I'm starting housework immediately. Like it's a new shift for me, having to stay with the kids. So I stay back in school. I do some school works. I read if I want to read. And that's how I manage myself. Because once I'm home, trust me, I can barely do anything except at midnight. Yes, sometimes I prefer to sleep early and wake up at midnight. I'm more active and I can do some schoolwork and go back to bed. But I just prefer to stay back in school, do you get, and do 3 hours before coming home. That's how I manage my school and my children and all. Because assignments recently have been coming, like they want to choke us. Assignments, you have to just keep up. You can't, if you decide to pile it up, I will do everything. It's going to be really, 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 really tough for you. So as the assignment is coming, just be doing them small, because they will choke you with assignments, group work, courseworks. Yeah, is a lot here. Most courses, they don't write exams. My department now, we've not written any exam. I think we're writing just one exam next month, first week of December or second week. And it's going to be, I think, an open book exam. Yes, but most of the time, our courses are good. Our grade is based on assignments, group work, presentation. Yes, I might be saying assignments. I might be saying, it's assignment. It's not easy. It's not easy, but you just have to put in all the efforts you can. It's just a year. Like I keep telling myself, it can really get tiring. I cried. I think I cried. Was it last week? I was crying. I was like, I'm getting tired. I was really overwhelmed. Like the assignments were just coming, deadlines. I was not sleeping, and I just still wanted to work because I wanted to have money. Do you get everything? My kids were disturbing, and I was just crying. God, I'm tired. And I called my mom and I was just complaining, and she just said, don't worry, that's how it happens when you're at the last phase. It's always that way. You just have to just keep pushing. You're almost at the finishing line. Just keep pushing. You're almost there. Do you get it? It's okay. It's okay to feel. It's okay to be tired. Trust me. It's okay to feel overwhelmed. It's okay to pour out how you are feeling. It's very okay, but you have to still just keep on pushing. It can really be over. My friend my friend with 2 kids was also complaining that she's tired. She's tired, but we just have to encourage ourselves. You get just have to just keep pushing. Just keep pushing and try and do your assignments as they come. Don't keep them, pile them up. You can't. It's not funny. It's not funny. So yeah, that's how I just manage myself in school.
Thank you for pointing that out. Just to add real quick, I got a message from one of our students who started September last year. I kid you not, she has 3 children. She stays at Tybeck House. I saw them when I was in Swansea in July, and she gave me the best news ever. She finished with a distinction. I can tell you her story. This is
Wow,
she has done her first
wow.
degree in Swansea. She took time off because of the kids and she went back again, last year for a master's program. She had to literally ask, she was asking basic questions. She wasn't shy because that gap was there, it was evident. There's no wasted time. The time you pour into building a family, don't see it as time off, time where you are regretting, I wish I did not wait. No, every single aspect of time you have, you need to make it count. And Cynthia said something very profound now. As you get closer towards the end, it seems to get a bit tougher. Everybody gets to that, their breaking points, more so when you are a parent. Which is why what some people do is they don't even come with their dependents at all. Whether they are close to you, whether they are 6 hours away from you, your mental capacity is going to be tested, both academically, emotionally, and all the alleys that you can literally think of. So this journey doesn't end at when you arrive. It's a continuous process. So kindly note that down. Somebody's asking here, is it possible for independents to live in London when you have accommodation pending? You get accommodation in Swansea. Is it possible for a dependent to live in London where you have accommodation pending when you get accommodation in Swansea? I can pick this. The answer for your dependent, yes. For you, the main applicant, no. The main applicant needs to be in a 50-mile radius of the university. Trust me, don't forget, you're going to use that address to put on your intranet platform. You're going to use it to open your banks. Please, nobody should contact Cynthia to please give her, to request for her address to open bank account. I have a feeling
I will not give you
charter later on because everybody's trying to cover their name here, but 50-mile radius for the main students. Your dependents can go as far as they want, but don't forget, you need to try and see how to balance everything. Another question, if dependent is not included in the main applicant's application, is it possible to later bring in the dependent child later, close to the end of the course? And how can that be done? So when you're applying for your visa application, they would ask you to list your dependents.
Yes,
as far as, even if you are married, your husband is a dependent, list them there. There's a question they would ask, are they traveling with you now? The answer can be no, because you intend them to come later. Even the UKVI supports this for anybody coming with family. Main applicant comes, surveys the land, does all the necessary run around, sets up accommodation and all of those things before inviting them to come. I kid you not, the kind of stories I've been hearing for the last 1 year now, and it started majorly in September and particularly January, it wasn't funny because of the change of weather. We had a lot of people who were sleeping outside, people that are still, using Airbnb, using hotels. I've got all manner of messages, same as Sam, but the truth is there's a limitation to what we can do. When we started this session, Cynthia mentioned she and her husband were literally sleeping on Zoopla. Any new house that we put up there, she could tell. She told me something yesterday. There's an apartment that was up for rent somewhere close to where she stays. And then, she walked up to the person putting up the sign to say, can I get more information? And the person just asked her to look out for it on any of those random websites. Later on, she asked another neighbor, and the other neighbor was saying, oh, that house, I have my reservations about this. I don't want to say what she said, but XYZ, I won't advise anybody to stay in there. So please, let's try and ensure that we're not super desperate just to put our head somewhere. But you do all of your checks. The minimum any landlord will ask from you, minimum as it is now, is 6 months. If you are lucky, 3 months. If they like your face, they can decide to start doing a monthly basis with you. But the standard practice, and I kid you not, is 6 months. Some people, if they have those funds, they tend to pay up front. Accommodation is a big deal now in the UK overall. I wouldn't flog that, but let me just move on. So that's how you can add your dependents. Okay, accommodation, is it okay to pay? Is it okay paying and sorting it out from Nigeria before traveling? Cynthia, I think you want to pick this one.
I only advise that if you have someone here you trust that can help you go to the house, confirm that the house is real, meet up with the agents for you before you make payments. Do not make payments from Nigeria if someone here has not helped you confirm has not helped you confirm that the house is real, the agent is real, so that you don't get scammed. you don't get scammed. So please don't make any payment except you have someone here that has gone to that house, viewed the house, seen the agent before you can make payments. Don't try it, please.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, you need to be safe. I know that you are all aware that the biggest set of people that can scam you are actually Nigerians as well, because they will see you as JJC and they will see an opportunity to milk that process. I've had some students who requested for such. We were able to link them up with current students, and I kid you not, they messed it up, which is why most of you will not hear me talking about such things. Let me tell you what the September guys did. For some of them, those who arrived a bit earlier and were sorted, that when they went around different shops or whatever the case might be around city center, they were sending pictures to the group. For those of you all of you here should be on the paid group. You can scroll up and you'll see a lot of people sending different things. And that came about because, they were trying to assist each other, literally. So you can assist each other as much as possible, but please be careful. I've gotten different feedbacks of, I assisted this person even to pay IHS or visa fee. The person has not paid my money back. I'm not saying that you should not help them. What I'm saying is, please be very careful. I don't trust them 100% because you never can tell what can happen. Okay, so moving on. Somebody's asking here, if you have dollars in your Nigerian multi-currency card, can you withdraw pounds on the ATM over there? Yes, you can. Since it's a dump card, it will definitely bring pounds out. It depends on the exchange rate your bank is going to be using. So try and observe as much as you can. Good evening. I don't know if this is the right channel to ask this question, but please, can I use my statement of results instead of my certificate? Okay, so I saw your question. I'm not supposed to take it here, but if that's what you have presently, you can use that. However, you all got an email about matriculation of some sorts, which means you need to do that during the part of those documents. They will check either before you arrive if you have those documents already uploaded on the system, or you will present them during enrollment. Please note, enrollment has gone back to our old way of doing things, which is physical. We have stopped the virtual one because it's back to business as usual. So you can upload what you have now. You need to try and push your university to find out when you'll be getting that certificate at the end of the day. Okay, do you advise pregnant students? What do you advise pregnant students? Should they declare they are pregnant, want to get to school? Will this be an issue? Okay, let me quickly drop a point and I will allow Cynthia to talk about this. I'm sure you all would have read, or if you're not aware, scroll back on that group. We use Telegram because we want you guys to have access to previous conversations and not WhatsApp. There was a news that went around in September. I don't know which school it was. A Nigerian student gave birth mid-air. They were on the air. They gave birth. The girl gave birth, and it was a Nigerian. See, if you are pregnant, your airline is at risk to carry you, not because they don't like you, but because there's something cabin pressure does. You understand? Ask your doctors, even local flights, they will tell you once you are past a certain week, you cannot travel. Yeah. And what I got from most of my students who arrived in September was that quite a number of them, they were stopped by the entry clearance officer, when they saw that they were pregnant. Some women were coming alone, either with their kids, or they walked in alone, or they were with their husband. They would ask you certain questions because your giving birth in the UK doesn't signify to a red passport, and you need to be able to show that you have all the necessary requirements, to welcome the child when the child arrives. What is your medical history and all of those things? The accommodation you have, is it the right accommodation? If you can't be sleeping on the same bed and put the baby beside you, do you have a cot? Just like Cynthia said, you understand? So all of these things, it doesn't really carry weight. We can find a way around it in Nigeria, but over there, they are very strict. So please, I beg of you, if you are pregnant, you cannot accept that pregnancy is not yet obvious. You can't hide it. If you like, wear the biggest of boo-boos. I'm talking as the parents do. where the biggest of boo-boos, you women can tell when another woman is pregnant. And the men can bear me witness that we just walk past them, we don't even know what's happening. Cynthia, do you want to add anything to this real quick?
No, I think you said most everything. Yeah, you said almost everything. If you're not so heavy, it's fine. You can come, and when you're close to giving birth and probably you're having lectures during that period, you can just email your course coordinator or you're giving birth and let them know that, oh, you just put to bed. Obviously, you won't be able to attend lectures for few weeks, and yeah, that won't be an issue if you're not so heavy and you give birth here and you can't attend lectures. You can always email your course coordinator that I just gave birth and I can't attend lectures for a few weeks. And so you not attending classes or stopping your ID for attendance won't be an issue because you've already informed the school that you just put to bed and you won't be available for lectures for a period of time. But I think after a few weeks, you have to be on campus. So it's left to you to know how you want to sort your newborn baby and lectures. Yeah.
All right. So as she said, please inform them. I saw an email sometime in October. A student had just given birth. I think quite a number of people did that this September. So if anyone is happening again in January, it won't be new to them, but please, you need to try and ensure that your education does not suffer regarding this. It is very important. All right. Okay, how can you start driving, and what license would you need to have before you are able to drive? I'm going to answer this question in a very sarcastic manner. Please drive your CGPA first. Drive your assignments. I beg of you, because a lot of people tend to say you can get an international driving license from Nigeria. However, I beg of you, and the reason why you are there is so that you can more or less study. I'm not saying don't look for ways around. Get on ground, survey the land first, know your way. Students are still getting lost. First, second, third week, 1 month into itself, you will hear that they have not been able to, there are some places that they are not aware of. They've only heard about it. Shops, you need to know where it is. Necessary pharmacies, you need to know how to get there. If you have children, you need to know how to really get to your children's school. If you need, obviously, the train station, you will never forget, and the bus station, because those things are primary. All right. So if you have an international driving license, yes, but I'll say kindly do some research into that before you bring that up. I beg of you. That shouldn't be on the front burner. So I will take your permission to skip that question. Because Cynthia, do you want to say something to that?
No, I was just getting to that. Maybe the dependent that doesn't have to go to school. Like after some months, you can decide to get a car, because most of the healthcare jobs here, most of the time they actually ask, do you have a car? Do you have access to drive? Do you have a driving license? It's one of the major criteria to getting a job as a healthcare assistant here. So if you're not a student and you're a dependent and you're able to afford a car after some months of working, you can get a small car. You can use your international driver's license. You can obtain it from Nigeria before coming and use it to drive. It would make your work easier and you get the job faster. Or if you want to switch jobs to a better one, you can. Yeah, so that's for dependents, so that does not have school to worry about.
All right, fantastic. During summer break, are you allowed to work more than 20 hours in a week?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you're allowed. So yeah.
Go ahead, Cynthia.
Okay. So you can get, I think I mentioned enrollment certificates earlier when council tax requested for it. So you can get your enrollment certificate. On your enrollment certificate I think it's also called term time or term dates. On it, you see the dates that you have holidays, days that you're allowed to work 20 hours. It's written on the document there. So I think summer break and I think Easter and Christmas, the dates are there anyways. So those days you can work more than 20 hours. Those days of the week, those weeks you can work more than 20 hours. But anything outside those days, you can't work more than 20 hours. So you can just obtain it from your department, from the uni of brother, when it gets to Swansea.
All right, fantastic. When I see that question, I remember that during the term time, during the summer break, most likely your dissertation would already be doing push-up waiting for you. So be careful what you get entangled into, because trust me, the library will become your friend. You pick a spot, coffee smell will become second to you. Like your life will just be on it will be turning on you,
The librarians get tired of you.
So please, how do I retrieve my school account password? So you might need to reach out to my uni hub, who might direct you to the IT department or the customer service so that they can rectify that. If you've not gotten the initial email, please be patient. I think they're working on it in batches, but you will need to reach out to my uni hub. Next question here says, some flights allow up to 30 to 36 weeks, but you may need to have a doctor's clearance. My question is, can they ask if proof of funds will cover the child after birth? Okay, this is a very interesting question.
Yeah.
So technically, the answer to this will be yes, because the money you are showing in the account. So this is us being logical. So the flights will not ask you, the airline is not the airline's business. As far as within the week they can carry you, they will carry you. You need to worry about crossing the border, all right? So if they ask you to show proof of funds, you need to show for yourself and also for your dependents. Now, if the lady is pregnant, she would, the question is, what are your plans for that baby? You understand? You know you're going to give birth within this timeline, so you need to also have a plan. They're not expecting you to divert the funds that you have kept for yourself towards the child. Everybody needs to have. So that child is that baby, incoming baby, is a dependent waiting to happen, more or less. Do you understand? Because take a look at what I mentioned. There's need for their own room. There's need for hot baby food. What's it called? Hospital bills and all of. Sorry?
It's a diapers.
Diapers, formula, so you need to have done their calculation as well. In the case where you have not done this is a very intelligent question, and it will help you to have, made provisions for this, so that when they ask you, they see that you are 100% legit and not just moving from your country to another country to give birth. Do you understand? So these are some of the things I want us to put into consideration, please. Like what I'm talking about here, I can tell you for free that there are some of the things I'm talking about now I have never opened up to talk about with students before. But as we notice that what you guys are requiring is changing, we are broadening the scope. And like I said, this is not written in any book, on any document. Somebody has asked me to write a book on my experience thus far. I'm still doing a review with that. When I do that, I might put it on Amazon and all of that. But what I'm doing right now is to share back with you guys, because you have made a commitment to Swansea University. And I think as students, you need to know as much as you can that might help you so that you are prepared for what you're going to face. I made an analogy to Cynthia yesterday. If you tell a bride-to-be who is about to get married that she should go and rent a wedding gown, she will curse you. Ladies, can I see your hand? Can I get a thumbs up if I'm right? If your husband now told you to go and rent your gown, I'm sure you might have thought this guy is a silly person, particularly if you've already fantasized that you are looking forward to stepping into your gown. Yeah. You already, imagine the name of the gown. I got to know about Vera one several years ago, and I was like, gown on top of how much? Where am I going with all of this? When your mind is fixed, most times it's difficult for anybody to change it. All right. So when it comes to some things such as this, you need to learn to be fluid. So please, despite everything we're saying here, there are some things you will take with a pinch of salt. For some people, accommodation is more important than car or driving. For some people, it's the nursery that is more important. For some people, it's how to get that academic balance going. So whatever it is, please just kindly note that it will be nice to make preparations for the child, because they would want to see this. So if you can do that, that will put you in absolute standing. All right. Any more questions? If you would like to unmute yourself and ask a question, please let me know so I can unmute you. or give you the permission to do that. We're almost coming to the end of this session now. We planned the session to run for 2 hours. The first hour was supposed to be for Cynthia to talk, and the second hour, we're trying to use that to take as many questions from you guys as possible. You know, so somebody's asking if you can get a recording of this meeting. I think I'll be obliged to do that. I usually don't share the recording, but I think I'll be obliged on this notes to share the recording on the group. All right, any other question? Any other questions? So I've noticed we've had roughly about 31 people that have been consistent on this call. You can't tell me that you don't have any questions. Either you are using earpiece, so we are speaking to your entire office or your house or your kitchen or wherever it is you might be. So, okay, Mary Ann has a question. Let me unmute you and then you can proceed.
Okay, I was going to ask that for people that are coming, like, okay, for instance, I'll be leaving, I think, 23rd. So I was going to ask, somebody was saying that it's better you have like, it's more preferable you stay in like, maybe if you can't afford like a studio apartment, it's more preferable you stay in like a shared apartment, say 2-bedroom flat with someone. So my question in particular is, how then do I get like someone who, like a student most likely, to like stay in a shared apartment with, because I don't know anybody.
Okay, we'll answer that question now. You don't know anybody, but you're on this group, more or less.
You know, most people are married. I don't know, Sha. I've not asked Sha, but I'm just
not everybody is married, though, my dear. I see all the applications. I have all of your records, so not everybody is married. If you put it out there, I don't know if you signed up for the pre-departures. For those of you who did, if you meet anyone physically, it's a good avenue to put names to faces and then try and connect. This is one of the reasons why we tend to bring you guys together early enough. Now, you might find out that whoever you might want to pair with, your values do not go together, despite the fact that you're also single or female. I'm sure some guys will not mind to stay with ladies here because they believe it is free food. But I always make sure to tell them, no, it's the truth. I'm always sure to tell them, look, as far as the two people are okay, then that's fine. But this is a perfect avenue. That said, I'm not encouraging it, or like I'm encouraging it. I've had Swansea students get married to each other in the last couple of years. They went the same year, and the next thing I knew, I saw wedding invites. I'm like, this is serious. You know, so greater things have happened. But to go back to your question, you can indicate on the group or when we meet for the physical pre-departures if you're ready.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Just ensure that their value is in line with yours, because some people don't know how to sweep. Some people don't like to wash plates, and that might really irk you. So I just wanted to make that known. All right. Sam, you wanted to say something?
Oh, no. I was just giving a bit of backdrop to what she was saying. The first was during the car, but she did mention that some jobs, if you can have your partner work out a way to get the job, the car, you'd be thankful for it at the end of the day. And yeah, I mean, I don't know if you know Spare Room, the person who's asking for a mate, if you have tried Spare Room. Spare Room also has Cynthia, I don't know if you can talk about that.
Spare Room here?
Yes.
Yeah, Spare Room is just like every other accommodation sites, like on the market, Rightmove. Well, I think Spare Room has basically shared apartments. Yeah, I think that's just the difference.
All right. So for Spare Room, let me just check this in. For Spare Room, you might notice that if you pay some sort of subscription, you might get to see accommodation as it drops before some other people. I know somebody who was very good at giving these links, and I kid you not, he had to subscribe to get the upper hand. So it's when you do some of these things, it might give you that edge You know, so don't say, I mean, why should I pay? Why should I turn my naira into pounds and all of those things? It's the benefits. And Sam and Cynthia are right about that accommodation. That if you are your dependent is able to sort out the car. Life is sweet when transportation is easy. But don't forget, I'm the realist and I always like to put everybody in check.
For
You
sure.
know, the cost of fuel has gone up now. It's not like they are queuing as bad as we are in Lagos and all of that, Abuja and whatever, Nigeria as a whole. But you will still need to get fuel. But I can tell you, once you have the means of mobility, it makes it sweet. If you look at the family budget and there is no space in there for that, there are other ways. The bus runs 24/7. It's a matter of planning yourself, right? So please don't let anybody pressure you. But we're just unraveling all of these things that we don't want you to have gone through before you realize. It's best you hear some of it now. Okay? Thank you for buttressing that point, Sam. Blessing, you had a question. Could you unmute yourself now, please?
Hello.
Hi.
Sorry, my question is concerning the accommodation. On checking those on the market and all those sites, you see when you are looking about the distance from the university to the particular, you see something like 20 miles, 10 miles. I don't know exactly what those mean. Does it mean minutes or hours to the school? And then if you decide to get a place that is like 1 hour to the school, like is it advisable? What do you think we should do?
Okay, so I think I'll let Cynthia and Sam pick this one up because they've lived they've lived the longest in Swansea on this call. So Cynthia, you go first. Sam will then buttress from his own point of view.
Okay, so 20 miles is the distance from the school to the place. Miles is distance. So me, I honestly know how to calculate miles too when I was in Nigeria. So the easiest way to do it is copy the address of the house you're searching for, copy it, go on Google Map, put it there, and then put the address of your school, and then you see they'll give you how many minutes drive, how many minutes by bus. That's just the easiest way. Forget the miles because I didn't know how to calculate miles. I didn't have an idea of how miles and everything works. So just go on Google, put in the address, put in the school address, and just have an idea of how many minutes bus, how many minutes I need to be on the bus to get there, how many minutes drive here. And if you say 1 hour, I mentioned this earlier in the beginning of the session, 1 hour distance, I feel is not bad, especially if it's going to be a straight bus to get to school. At the moment, it's not bad because houses are scarce now. So if you see a place of 1 hour away from school, it's not a bad idea. The buses work. The buses are working. The transportation here is not bad. You just get your ticket and you go on the bus, and it's a smooth ride. You can use it to reflect on what's happening, and you can even do some schoolwork while on the bus with your laptop. So it's not, trust me, it's not so bad. And my house is 40 minutes by bus to the school, but by drive it's about 15 minutes. So yeah, if you're searching for houses very close to the school and you're not finding houses close to the school, which are most likely expensive, you can go as far as an hour. Yeah, more than an hour might not be so nice.
Yeah. That's good. That's really good. I think that's majority of it. But if I don't know who is asking, if you're a guy and you don't mind cycling, if you've got 1980 quid, you could use it and get yourself a bike, and that could help you just leave at your house at once, because sometimes you may be caught up in doing things. Someone like Toby and Cynthia, as I can see, they are big planners, and they look like they are people who, can get their everything mapped out. I find myself constantly chasing things, thank God gave me a wife to supplement it. But But yeah, I think for me using a bike, I had to get a bike at that time. Another thing is if you so what I do, I leave like 2 hours early, for everything. Like I put my alarm 2 hours for everything because in Swansea everything you can walk, you can also walk, and just giving other alternatives. Check the bus, leave early. I think 1 hour is quite like Cynthia said. 1 hour is quite is quite fair. Even in my time, 1 hour was not bad. Um, 30 minutes can easily be walked. 40 minutes can easily be walked.
Yeah.
Is that Singleton or Bay? Which one are you calculating from? It also depends on that. Which one?
Singleton.
What do you say?
Singleton.
Oh, Singleton.
Singleton.
That means 1 hour you're looking at beyond city center. You're looking at uh up Mount Pleasant. You're looking at
Morrison.
Morrison, yes. So that means you will need to take a bus. You're looking at Morrison. You're looking at the new St. Davis, the old St. Davis. I mean,
Yeah.
so you learn the bus, and you would like to get a bicycle. Just say your mind. If you can do a bicycle, you could get a bicycle. For
Yeah.
the bus, yeah.
Mm.
All right. I hope that answers your question, Blessing. I allowed them to pick that because, I mean, you can hear the level of insight they provided into that. So if there are any more questions, please raise your hands. There's a question here, Sam and Cynthia again. Please, can a couple stay in a studio apartment?
Why not? Why not? You can. They would definitely give you. It's just you and your husband, just a couple. So yeah.
All right, that's fine.
Mm.
Cass, Sam, this question is for you. Dr. Lucha, I'll pick your question in a minute. Let me just read this one. Cass has been slow. I knew somebody will bring this here today. Cass has been so slow. At the moment, most of our trackers is not displaying. Are we safe? Hope Swansea is not planning to defer us. Sam, do you want to pick that?
So I think it's important also to know where you are with if you have made your payments, if you have made your deposits and you have every of your documents submitted, I think the university is working on it. And if you haven't gotten your cars by now, I think you should give it some more time. And where is the question? Let me see.
So it says CAS has been so slow at the moment. Most of our trackers is not displaying.
Tracker displaying, yeah.
Yeah.
So Swans is not planning to defer us. Okay.
Yeah.
No. I think no. I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's the case. I think that they are working on it. I think there's actually been a system in place to ensure that they look at all of the. Do you also have your proof of fund? Because right now, if your proof of fund has not been up to over 20 days, you will not be issued cars as well. You should also ensure that you have everything requested, also to ensure that it's been submitted. Also, feel free to send me a DM. I think I saw a few, and with your student number, and we could also, put it in and see if there are anything that we need to inform you about. But I think mostly, once you're done with your deposit and your POF is over 20 days, and you have made and everything all the requirements that you have been asked for, you have submitted. I don't think you just need to exercise just a little bit more patience, and it will be with. I don't know if I'm missing anything, Toby.
All right. Sam, thank you for the inputs. I'll take the last bits, which is Swansea is not planning to defer you. I know as some of you guys have written on the group, some universities have served breakfast. We are hoping you are not going to get lunch and dinner. Swansea would not do that. We have never done this before, and we don't intend to start now. The tracker is supposed to give you an insight as to the progress of your CAS. However, it is not the ultimate. When things like this happen, we've escalated back to the team about the glitches, and some of them have already been rectified. At least some people came back to me to confirm that it's been rectified. And that's something that I think goes a long way. When there's a problem, you guys know how to escalate it. When we solve those problems, it's almost like it's their job they are doing. Why should I let them know? But it would really help so we can balance this out. If the tracker is not displaying, this will be rectified. There's a lot of things going on back end. Don't forget that we had the deadline on Friday, reconciliation on Monday, and the team needs to get all of these things right. You know, so all of these things is being put into perspective. The answer to your question, they are not hoping to defer you. If your bank statement has not yet matured, obviously you won't get a CAS. If there's any document that you think you might be missing out, please, 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 and please go through that thing very well. Don't say, oh, I didn't know it was not going to be required. And for every time you upload a document on your CAS Shield, the percentage goes back to 25% until the document is reviewed and then it comes back up. So I hope that helps. Next question, accommodation is the issue. I need a 3-bedroom and I really don't know how I can get accommodation before arrival. As Cynthia said, try and check on those platforms. If you need to sleep on them, sleep on them. If you need to try and set alerts, please do so. The challenge will be even after you see something you like, you need to be able to confirm that that accommodation is still available and the landlord is willing to hold it for you until arrival. Even if you need to pay some sort of holding fee, just ensure that you're not dealing with a scammer at any point in time. You will be surprised. There's a particular guy, I've forgotten his name. I think he was going around doing this to a number of students, and good enough, somebody called it out, just like you guys call out different issues on the Telegram group. So that can happen. Oluchi, I'll be with you. I've not forgotten your question. There's the last question I want to pick. For flight, what's the best route? Is it direct flight or connecting flight? For connecting flight, which is the best one or easiest? Cynthia, please take that because you travel with your family. So maybe if they hear from you, they will believe you.
I used a connecting flight. I used Ethiopia Airline, and trust me, it was not easy. 17 hours trip. Trust me, it wasn't easy. So it all depends on funds. If you can afford to get a direct flight and you're coming with your family, please just get on a direct flight to save you the stress. But if you can't, you can just use connecting. I used Ethiopia Airline. It wasn't easy, trust me, but we survived. It wasn't easy. But if you have the money, please take direct flight and save yourself the stress.
I've once used the Air Morocco. I took off 5 times. I took off 5 times coming to Nigeria and going back.
It's connecting flights.
For September, most students found a loophole because we're very good at looking for deals. Friday is Black Friday now. You're going to see a lot of deals popping up. You might want to try and see what's going to happen with different organizations then. But what was happening for those that went in September, they noticed Qatar Airline was doing a massive deal. So a lot of people were, were head on Qatar. Now, we've mentioned this before, ensure that you will not require a transit visa for whichever flights. Somebody came to ask me in my DM, which are the flights that do not require transit visa. I don't work with a travel agency. Please check. The information is online there. For each of the airlines, please check. It's very important because I had a student who was now enrolled, luckily for her, but she got to the airport and realized that what she purchased was actually she was going to need a transit visa. She was so caught up in getting CAS, getting visa, and she forgot about that part. So please don't say you were not told. We will emphasize this again during the pre-departure briefings, but I just said to mention. So if you're going to land in, well, I hope, who asked this question? Ekene, I hope you'll be coming for the pre-departure briefing. I don't want to give everything away. The session still has to be interesting. But if you're coming with kids and you can handle them, you can use a connecting flight as long as you don't require a transit visa. So for me, when I travel, if I'm traveling with my kids, it's very simple. The one I know that I understand their language very well. You know, children when they see space, they like to run. So if you know they are not physically fit, my dear, just try and ensure that you have that conversation with them. Start prepping them now. Get their snacks. I mean, anything that they like, put it in your bag. I mean, so that when they are hungry, because every second they will tell you they want to use the toilets, they're hungry, they're thirsty, you need to attend to their needs. And trust me, is that thing you are expecting that they will not ask for. During that trip, you'll be wondering, where should I manufacture this from now? Dr. Oluchi, you can unmute yourself and ask your question, please. Dr. Oluchi, are you there?
Yes. Hello, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I'll be coming with my husband and my daughter, and I was wondering, because I've heard from so many people that if you have a child, the minimum number of bedrooms is maybe 2 bedrooms or something. And the truth is, here I sleep with my baby and my husband in the same room. So I was wondering if it was possible to get a 1 bedroom. Is that feasible, or should I just keep searching for only a 2 bedroom?
How old is your baby?
My child is 1 year, 1 year, 7 months. So by January, she'll still be 1 year.
Okay. Cynthia, over to you.
It's possible to get a bedroom depending on the landlord, trust me. Most landlords won't agree. A friend of mine, our child is a year old, a year and a month, and they stay in a bedroom with the husband, all of them. So, but most of them would want you to get a 2-bed. Most landlords will like, oh no, you can't stay in a bed with a 1 year plus child. You have to get a 2-bed. But you might just be lucky to get a bed, 1 bed. Just search. Try both. And just try the 1 bed. If you see that it's not going well, then you can just switch to the 2-bed. I mentioned earlier about the whole thing with children and a number of rooms. I don't know if you're on the chat then. So that's how it is.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So realistically, please try and see if you guys can look out for a 2-bed while you try and get into 1, because packing up and moving again can be a bit of a challenge, and by the time you guys are arriving, you are literally going to take up whatever is left, or those that are leaving. You guys more or less, it's a rotational thing. As you are leaving, some other people as they are leaving, you guys are picking up the available accommodation. So please try and look into that. It would really help. Okay, somebody send a message here through Lopet. Can you please explain the council tax band and EPC in house searching again? So this person sent it to a DM. She's asking again. Over to you, Cynthia. Council tax band and EPC in house searching.
I honestly don't think it matters.
Do you think like offer?
Yeah.
Be like
Go ahead.
Okay. I honestly don't think council tax band and EPC matters, but they usually say the band A, is it A between A to C or A to D? It's better to look for those accommodation with A to C, that the electricity bill is usually lesser than the ones E, F. Yeah, that's what they usually say. But I feel it's not important. Like, it's very insignificant, if you ask me. Yeah, I feel it's very insignificant. Except I'm wrong though. I don't know, Mr. Sam.
So a student, yes, Sam, do you have anything to add to this point about tax band, council tax band?
No, as long as you show your student stuff, I think you're fine. I've not heard about when they try to impose it on students. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's council tax. Council tax is council tax. Just have to send them. Yeah.
Okay, to add to that, just as I said, you need to send your students your ID and some other documentation they might request for. Back then, it was called a council tax exemption letter, which the university is meant to give to you, so you can easily get that from my uni hub. you're not supposed to be paying tax. It's like the money people are paying for school fees is not enough, Abi. You understand? So students are exempted from paying tax. After you finish your program, though, and you are no longer a student, then you can enter into the dome of council tax, literally. But you can easily read up more about that on the gov.uk website. Next question. What kind of apartment is okay? Yeah. What kind of apartment is okay for a couple with a child? Is it studio or a bedroom apartment? Cynthia.
A couple with a child, you should go for a 2-bed. Normally, you should go for a 2-bed. The couple stays in a room and the child stays in the second room. That's how it is. That's how it should be. But if you're lucky, you can get a bedroom, just 1 bed, and if you're lucky. Some landlords will not mind. We've said for some landlords will not mind. Yeah, some landlords are really nice, but mostly what they allow here is 2-bed for a couple with a child.
All right.
We can search for 1 bed. Yeah.
Fantastic. So it all boils down to this search, right? I don't know how you guys came to hear about Swansea University. Or decided to go ahead and make your payments, but you must have strong reasons. The same level of research you put into it, you need to intensify and then sort out accommodation. All right. The benefit, as Cynthia said in the beginning, is that we're located outside London. So it's not as intense as what you have in central London. However, this is a all-round key challenge, which is why some of you must have gotten an email from International at Campus Life informing you about if you're coming with dependents and all of those things. It's just so that you are aware and you are not stranded. See, I have heard all manner of things on this side of the table. People have reached out to me, and for some of them, they were not aware. That's why I'm always trying to bring some of these sessions in between the heat of the moment. I read a comment one of you put on the paid group this evening. I can't see road clearly. All that I'm bothered about right now is cars. There's a lot of cards that you need to consider outside your past statements. I am pleading with you. See, journey is it's from one phase to another.
Yeah.
It's from one phase to another. Marianne, please mute. I've been muting you. If you want to say something, kindly raise your hand so that I can unmute you, please. So please, let's try and put that into consideration. We're only trying to help, but there's a limit to what we can do. Okay, there's a message here from Cynthia herself. She posted a YouTube channel. She said you can send her a DM on Instagram. You can also follow her on our YouTube channel. So could you please look for the emoji on your phones, and then let's just give her a round of applause. She's been absolutely awesome. You will notice you've not heard our children in the background. You don't want to know the kind of bribe we have already bribed our husband before he goes to work today. So I'm trying to quickly rush the questions before they come and get her, because this is technically 5 o'clock their time now, So thank you for everybody who is showing her that reaction. It's not easy to be bearing. There's some information some people will not give you, but she's doing that now, I have a question here on authentic sites for bedrooms. I'll just say it's still the general ones we are giving you guys, but please do your due diligence. You will know when something is off, when they're all about money, 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 pay now, it will soon go, there's only 1 slot left, all of those things, So please try as much as you can. Let me see if I can rush as many questions here. Can we get a recording? Yes, you will. Okay, you are in transit, so you can't hear. Yes, you get a recording, 2 hours long for that matter. Cynthia, thank you, thank you, thank you. Cynthia has put up our YouTube channel. Cynthia, please put that back again in the chat box so everybody can hear that. A lot of people are saying thank you to you. Thank you. Okay, Zoom user, let me unmute you now. We're going to round this up in the next 7 minutes. So Zoom user, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hello, good evening, Mr. Toby.
Yeah, good evening.
Hello. Please, I'm having Madam Cynthia. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Well done. You are doing a nice job. Please, I'm having an issue. I got an accommodation through Swansea, and I'm supposed to pay the deposit today. So I don't know if I can get someone to confirm for me so I can make the payment. 7 Mofa Road, number 50.
How did you get the accommodation? Did you check online yourself?
Yes, I checked online. I got one, and later there was a guy, O2, is September, those September people. So he said he has one, so he transferred to me.
Okay. Do you have the contact of the person?
Yes, I do.
Okay, send me a message on, how will you send me a message? On Telegram or on Instagram.
I will do that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So if that works for you, I wish you all the best. A good thing you asked the question here. So Cynthia has posted our YouTube and Instagram handle again. Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you, Cynthia.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mrs. Oluwatobi. God bless you every day. Okay, you are most welcome. Okay, so I think we've come to the end of this session now. We're going to spiral off in another 6 minutes. But the basic essence, once again, is to try and ensure that you get information. University can only do so much. It's always good to learn from other people's experiences. I mean, until Cynthia was speaking with us earlier on, I mean, yesterday, I didn't really realize that the Facebook market was a big deal in the UK. I know some people have used that to get accommodation, but these are some of the things that you can put into perspective. 2 minutes, Cynthia, I promised them you're going to talk about this weather. And, we talked about the quotes and everything yesterday. Just hint on it. Yeah. I will flog this very much so at Pretty Patchers. So please talk on this, because I sent them a video recently of the winds blowing in October, and a lot of people were like, oh my God, and you've not seen the half of it. I want you guys to have a picture of what you might expect in January, because she lived it, which is why one of the reasons why I asked her to be here today. So you talk about it generally in terms of the city and your classes. How were you able to deal when you had to go into class physically? I know you guys didn't start January physical at first. So yeah, just like give us an overview of the weather in 2 minutes. Thank you.
Okay, see, when you're coming in January, the code that will welcome you once you come out of that airport, it's not even going to be funny. It rains 247 here in Swansea. So come with a good umbrella, although the breeze will still blow the umbrella off sharp, but you can just still come with a good umbrella because it rains 247. And even when it's looking really sunny, it is freaking cold. When I mean it is cold, your hands can't be outside, like they'll be freezing, they might be stiff, even with gloves on. So try and come with enough thick. I'm wearing this inside the house because the heater is on. My heater inside the house is obviously on. So I'm not cold. Sometimes I get hot because of the heater. But once I step out, the cold air comes. When you're outside, you're breathing cold air. I see cold air coming out of your mouth. You can imagine. See, I can't overemphasize. Just come with a very strong winter jacket. Very strong one. You might not get, because jackets that we used to get in Katangua and all of that in Nigeria, they might not be as strong as the ones you get here. But just come with one that will transport you that you can manage from the airport to get to Swansea. Once you get to Swansea, you can enter any thrift store. We have £1 thrift stores. You see jackets, they're good. They are Okika jackets, like used ones, but they are good. You can enter a £1 store, £1, you get a good jacket. Just, you need to cover the code. The code is, you wear cardigans, you can wear 3 clothes inside. My kids always have to wear like 3 clothes for they put on their jacket. My daughter still even has cough. She has taken flu immunization, but still, once she's outside, the cold is just, it's too much. Just try and cover yourself up. Joggers, jeans, no need for fancy clothes, heels, trust me. Once you're here, you can walk and buy. That's when you need it during the summer. Can just dash those clothes to your friends and family members in Nigeria. Come with thick cardigans, sweaters, singlets. It's like singlets that you can always wear inside your clothes first, then cardigans, then jackets, head warmer, gloves, thick socks. Yes, basically any other thing, please just dash them out because you don't need them until summer. You can afford them during summer. It's cold. It is really cold. It is really cold.
It's really cold. I've acclimatized to the weather a little bit, so I'm not probably as cold as I was when I came. Do you get? But my friends that just came in a few weeks ago, I know how they are complaining to me, even when I'm not so cold. They are very cold because they just come in and I've been here for a while, so I'm a little bit used to it. But it's cold.
All right, thank you very much for highlighting that. So literally, with the weather, you need to kit up. We'll talk about this extensively during the physical and the virtual pre-departures we'll be holding in December. But the essence is that you are very much aware. She mentioned a couple of stores. We would make emphasis on those. But the essence here is that, look, it's a different climate from where you are coming from, particularly with the heat we've been experiencing in Nigeria for the last couple of weeks. So it's really different. But on the hindsight of it is, and they will never tell you this, if you log on to Cynthia's YouTube page and check her system, you know, when she started her YouTube and all of those things, you will notice her skin is now a bit more fresher.
Yes,
so, there's a benefit to this cold weather.
No, there's something there. There's something there.
There's something.
I have a very big pimple here, though.
There's something
But
about the
still
weather,
popping.
something about the water, something about the food. You know, even your pictures, you will turn to a photographer overnight.
I swear,
Not
very
struggling
clear and
with
bright and
light
fine.
and all of those things. So there are some benefits to this. So this is just a hindsight to show you that there are so many aspects of this journey that you can tap into, and you are not just engrossed in what is going to happen now. Take, for example, it's never snowed in Swansea until the last 2-3 years. You know, and when people in Swansea saw it, they were really excited. They came out and were looking, yeah, you know. So did you experience snow in Swansea?
I don't think it's going to snow.
So it happened in September, October.
So just droplets of snow when it was raining.
Yeah.
They said
so
they have these snows here.
If you are lucky, that's fine. If you want to experience this winter by force and take picture so that they know that you used to have arrived, you can decide to go into central London. I'm sure you'll find nice spots there.
Yeah.
But on the hindsight, trust me, the weather can get a bit funny. You know what works for you. And as funny as it might sound, fashion is not the aim when you are trying to keep warm. You wear anything.
Anything.
I was opportune to see some of Sam's old jackets in July, and my God, I mean, there is no shame. I'm taking my time to explain this thing to you guys because literally it's something you need to be aware of. Your heater might not be hot enough for you. You might literally go there and put your hands because your body temperature has not yet acclimatized. And it takes time, okay? So please, somebody's asking how long winter season will last for. I think this will run till sometime in March, April, you know, until they have the time change go back, literally. So you will need to put this into consideration. If you need to submit assignments, if you need to go for classes, it will get dark very quickly. During the summer, it's 9 p.m. and you're wondering, it doesn't look like that. So you get, as time goes on anyway, you get acclimatized with this. If you forgot anything we've spoken about all day, there's a lot, just know this, there's a lot to unravel as you arrive to Swansea. Try and enjoy the journey of the process. I might be calling on you maybe 6 months from now to talk to students that are coming in September. There are loads of takeaway from this, and I don't know which one of them is important to you, but please note that we're working as a team to get you guys to your final destination. A very big thank you for the 30 of you that have been on this call consistently for the last 2 hours and 13 minutes. I'm actually watching. I'm removing myself, Cynthia, and Sam. So you guys are about, okay, now you're about 29 who have been consistent on this call. Thank you so much. We will share the recording on the Telegram group after we're done. Any final words you want to say, Sam, as we round up now, because we've shot the time pretty far?
No, nothing much, just for everyone to make sure they turn up to the the pre-departures. It's going to be really, really important. So yeah, thank you all for coming. Thank you all for joining. Thank you, Toby.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you, Cynthia.
Thank you. Thank you.
Cynthia,
I disturbed Mr. Samuel Uchi and Toby during my time. You guys disturbed them very well. They were really helpful. Trust me. They did. No. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Any final thing you want to tell us to the students on this call?
Nah, just take each day as it comes. It gets better each day. Trust me. It might seem overwhelming when you just get here and all, but it gets better. It gets better. And pray to your God. Pray to your God. Always pray to God. Once you step, I usually say, once you step your feet into this country, you need to proclaim, you need to speak to God. God, as I'm stepping my feet, this country must favor me. It must favor you. So you have to speak to God and let him know that this country has to favor you. And just leave it for him. No, I'm not saying you should be lazy and just leave it to God. You have to be hardworking, obviously, but take each day as it comes. It's definitely going to get better. It's going to get better. Yeah. I'll see you guys in Swansea. I can't wait to see you.
All right, fantastic. Thank you all for joining this meeting. Thank you, Cynthia, for honoring our invite.
It's fine.
Thank you, five already. They've come to call you.
They've come to look for me.
So thank you very much. We'll let you go now.
Yes.
For everybody here, you'll be getting the recording on the group, and we'll continue to push for car statements and all of that back end. But please do not forget everything that has been said here today. Try and maximize the journey and make an experience out of it for yourself. All right. Log on to our YouTube channel, send her messages. She has a family to respond to, so she might not respond as quickly. A big shout out to Lopez also on this call. The way people have been sliding into our DM is the same way they've been sliding into Cynthia's DM. So thank you very much. I really appreciate the assistance and support you guys have given thus far, and we hope to do more with you guys and see you in person or virtually in December. Cynthia, thank you very much. Regards to your family. Let's release.
All right, thank you. See you guys. But if you send me the record as well. Bye.
We'll do. Bye. All right. Thank you very much, everyone, and do have a beautiful evening.
Thank you, Toby.
Thank you too, Sam.
Thank you. Bye.